Hello, everybody. My name is Ivan Ethos, and welcome to Gaming with Spirit. I know that it's been a fairly long time since you guys have heard from me, and I apologize, sort of. Life always takes precedence. Now, I made a special video today because Gara Prime was released recently, and being the Gara Prime fanatic that I am, or I suppose Gara fanatic that I am, I went ahead and built a couple interesting builds for her again to kind of show you all what she's capable of now, thanks to a couple new little add-ons, such as the arcanes, as well as streamlining the build process. So what we're going to start with here is I want to show you the difference between the range build and the power build. So the range build is going to show you what the range is capable of with mending splinters, because I like that one, and it's going to have these two little bad boys. So this one right here is Arcane Blade Charger. So at max rank, it gives you a 30% chance for 300% melee damage for 12 seconds on melee weapon kill. It's important to remember that. And then Arcane Fury is also equipped, which gives me a 60% chance for 180% melee damage to melee weapons. Some of you may remember that Gara primarily gets her damage from her first ability, not from her build, but actually from the augments to her primary melee weapon. Now, of course, in this case, this is my build. So, Prime Pressure Point, Jaw Sword, Riven, we got Blade of Truth, Spoiled Strike, Jagged Edge, Buzzkill, Rending Strike, Fevered Strike. Now, some people have told me that replacing like Rending Strike or Jagged Edge with another Prime variant that does elemental damage is just as good. I don't know. I haven't seen it. This is my build for it, but feel free to do what you want. Just remember that damage, pure damage, but primarily slash and puncture. Impact won't affect damage from the first ability, but slash and puncture will. And all the rest of this is my setup. Of course, I'm using the Jaw Sword with a special name because I'm bad like that, and of course the Gara Deluxe skin for it. So I'm using the Cobra Vaga Kuva Chakur because the Kuva Chakur is an amazing weapon. Um, if you're interested, here's my build for it. It's just kind of as much crit as I can get on it right now, with a little bit of damage and, well, multi-shot. And the reason for that will become very clear. As those who remember, one of our arcanes is on crit, it gains boost melee damage. And the Kuva Chakra has one of the highest melee damages. Yeah. We'll start with our things here. So good durations. We'll go ahead and build a wall. And we'll run over here. So you see our Eclipse, because I'm running Eclipse Gara. It's at 231% with our power strength as it is. So, right about 100,000 damage, which is pretty good. Now we're going to jump off the edge here because we want solid numbers, base numbers. So we'll go ahead and blast one, Eclipse. And we'll go ahead and simulate these guys. So, if I kill them, you see I have those two buffs. Drop my wall, run outside like normal, and break. You'll notice that I went from getting only roughly about 100,000. It was 97k to 157k, which means you got a pretty substantial boost there. Not quite double, but about 75%, I suppose. Anyone who knows math better than I would will, of course, be able to crack the numbers themselves, but we're getting a pretty substantial damage boost from those two arcanes. Some people might ask, well, how do you know which arcane's doing the most? It's pretty obvious. The 300% is going to be greater than the 180%, and it stacks on the, I think it stacks on the base, not exactly the overall, because I haven't noticed like massive increases. Now with that being said, we'll go ahead and show you what the power build is capable of. Now I'm sure some of you are already going, I'm sorry, how can the power build is obviously have more power strength, but since you already mentioned that power strength does not convert her into more damage for her first ability or for her fourth ability, what's it going to do? Well, actually it's going to do three things. So first and foremost, it's going to increase the damage increase on Eclipse, which increases the damage rate on your melee weapon, which increases the damage rate on your Shattered Lash. And this also increases the base damage of your Shattered Lash and increases the base explosion damage of your Mass Vitrify. So actually, power strength is very, very important if you want to have big numbers from your glass storm. Now, of course, as both anyone who's paying attention to our percentages will notice, we've lost some duration and lost range. And of course, our efficiency is absolute trash. But you'll quickly learn that efficiency isn't as important so long as you have energy pads and you have you're killing enemies, which you should be doing fairly regularly. And you can even swap out maybe the Arcane Fury with Arcane Energize if you really want to keep energy levels up. So right off the bat, we go up to 795, big clips of 477. So right off the bat, we're going to do a break. Boom. 344,000. And I know some of you are like, that's a good substantial amount. And remember that you're only doing 50% of what you have on your storm is the damage you're actually outputting. 50%. So that means you're outputting somewhere close to, I don't know, a little over 700,000 damage from their glass wall. Pretty nasty. So now if I go ahead and glass storm, eclipse, gather my energy, go ahead and simulate these guys, pull up my hero checker and whoop, kill them. Now I gotta get to this fast. That 300% is pretty minimal, but 562,000. Now that is again a substantial increase. We went from 300 and 70-some thousand to 562,000. This means Gara, if played correctly, even in arbitrations or anywhere else like she was before, you can so quickly gain millions and millions of damage on your glass storm in a relatively short time. And as long as you're making sure you have energizing dash, as long as you're making sure you're picking up energy orbs, as long as you're making sure that you're managing your energy and your timers wisely and don't get hit by nullifiers, you can do some significant damage and probably have one of the highest DPSs in the game. Because that means my wall's doing 1,000,000 damage a smash. As a point of reference, 1,000,000 damage is going outwards with my glass wall. This, of course, affects all Garas in your team. So if all of you are built this way, you can hit 2 million with a single collection of walls. And just keep stacking it and keep stacking. And it can get pretty nasty. And if you time things right, you can actually pace it so that none of you will actually ever run out of energy. Because you'll just energizing dash into the next wall. And each person will break their own wall, therefore everyone will get the damage from it too. So you'll have constantly stacking damage fairly regularly and not have to worry about your timers as much. But not everyone's going to run a pure Gara Prime team, and I understand that Gara Prime, for a lot of people, doesn't suit their fancy. But I will say, Gara Prime has some good changes to nice little visual changes to her that I really like. I really like this Amphira. I know that it's paid for, but still, it's gorgeous. The Deluxe was already pretty good besides the head. So I got the Lux body, but kept the Prime head, because that was amazing. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I know this was a relatively short video, but I did want to expose people to the power of Gara once again. I'm getting back into Warframe for a little bit because of Gara Prime, and also I might upload the videos of the newer Warframes that have come out. I am not an expert at them, so don't expect to see these huge numbers on every frame, but do expect to see some comprehensive tutorials on how to build them and what kind of things affect them directly. I know that you have other opportunities, so I really thank the people who have stopped in today to look at my Gara Prime video, see the damages I can output, and anyone who's watched any of my other videos, thank you so much. It means a lot, even though I haven't been doing it for a very long time. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, whatever you're having, and I hope to see you all in Warframe. Bye, everybody.